Good morning, guys. Good morning. I like it. I like it. We're all in here. Very, very nice. Morning. I'm doing good. And yourself? How are you doing? How are we all doing? Yes, sir. Let's get it. All right. News today. We have some USD news later on, 30 minutes after New York open. So if you're trading New York today, I recommend you be careful about unemployment claims here and make sure that you have all positions managed during this time. As for London session, right now, we do not have any news. We have this quarterly bulletin. Tentative means it can happen anytime this day. So, yeah, it's looking all right. Harry, will change your trading to twice a month. What do you mean? Will I change my trading to twice a month? Explain to me your question. I don't get your question. So until he explains his question or she, we will do the analysis. So we have this fat daily candle close here, which is nice to see. Nice big daily candle close here towards the upside. And yeah, I mean, we're kind of close to this resistance, which I don't like. But this current daily has opened without a top wick. So, there is reason to believe at some point we can flip and make a top wick and make our way up towards this basic resistance up here at 164.351, going down to the 4-hour time frame. So that's a resistance we need to watch, and this resistance all up here is going to be our issue, right? So if we bring back our drawings, and this is where I need to start basically making some drawings here. So this 4-hour resistance here, I'm going to mark that up because that's our most recent 4-hour resistance. So ignore all of these lines here, focus on this resistance here because this is the most recent, and that's going to be our target. So we're very close to target, which is not the best to see. And if we look at the two previous candles prior to a session, we have a bullish candle here, bearish, and then a doji. So this doji basically means that nothing essentially happened, right? So we open and close in the same spot, not much information on here, but we're trying to break down at the moment. But a lot of people are going to try sell these highs, although it makes sense. But I think if we get any pullback from this zone, it might set up for further buys until we see some sort of change of structure. When we see that change of structure, I think then we have the best ability to look for sells. But until we see that, I'm still more bullish bias than a selling bias. This 1 4-hour candle is not enough, especially we're not even breaking this low. And if you think about it, we made this low here and we're not even breaking. It's just retesting the top of the range. So until the more time we remain above this range, I'm not bearish. Maybe if we start getting below it and create some sort of targets, then I could entertain counter trend sell. But for me today is still bullish here, right? So if we go down and start marking up what we have, so this is obviously our 4-hour resistance zone that we're looking at. People are gonna say, oh yeah, this is a head and shoulders pattern I'm seeing. Yeah, you can call it what you want, it's your choice. But for me, I'm not seeing any. For me, yeah, sells are not going to make sense below this 4-hour resistance anyways, right? So we have this zone up here, which we can mark like this. Yesterday was super tough, right? So if we have a look at yesterday, what happened? So yesterday I took buys here. All right, where did I take buys? I have to remind myself. Remind myself, Harry, where did I take? Yeah, I took buys here on this closure here. It pushed up for me around 14 pips here. Yeah, 14 pips. I went to break even and I closed 3 pips above my break even. And then it pulled back down. Then we tried to break out again. I left it. I was not happy after the first time. And it pulled back again. And then it tried to break out again. It pulled back. Then it broke out, broke the lows, then tried to continue up. So this was much later. This was around just pre-New York. Then we got a nice push and now we're pulling back and now we're back into the zone. So as long as we remain above this low, I don't see a reason as to why we should look for sells. And even if you are going to sell, it's it's not the easiest zone to sell in, right? So I don't really think that sells is going to be the best option here. This previous 4-hour line, do I really want this line on my chart? I don't think I want this line anymore. So I'm going to remove that line. It's kind of, I don't know if I like it or not. Let's see how important it is. We're on the 30 minute, how important? 1 hour, it is a 1-hour area. Do I want this line? No, I'm gonna remove this line here. So if we're gonna look for buys today, it's actually a tough spot. This is a tough spot, and this is where we really need to use some more difficult concepts here to enable to take buys, because if you notice in this range we don't really have an LTA, right? I normally trade using LTAs, which stands for low traffic areas, which basically means clean candles, because I can expect a clean move up if we have a clean move down, and if we have a clean move down I can expect a clean move up. But we don't really have a range to trade in here, so it's not looking the best. But if we do end up breaking down here, fake out, create some sort of support, we can potentially look to buy up to these highs here, right? So we could potentially look to buy up to the highs, which would make sense. Buying above here I think is going to be very, very tough unless we get major volume, which I need more information closer to London Open. I don't think it will be a good idea. And buying at the highs here, we're right next to the 4-hour resistance. This is a no trade at this zone here, right? You want to be either above the 4-hour resistance, but you're not trading into this zone here. That's where a lot of people are going to get messed up, right? This is essentially your target for today if we're going to continue up here, right? For sells, I'm not populating sells just yet. Potentially if we start breaking down heavy, but sells is not in the question for me just yet. And yeah, let's have a look at gold, right? For gold, if we look at how the daily is closed here, daily is still in this range, closing bearish, but we're essentially ranging, right? So since we're essentially ranging, you don't really need to count too much of the daily candle because it's not closing above or below any ranges. As for the 4-hour time frame here, this line can be removed. 4-hour time frame is pretty messy, but I said if we can start closing above this 4-hour resistance here, I think we can have some upside opportunity to tap back into 1974 here, right? How does that look on lower time frame? Yeah, not the best on lower time frame here. But if we do break below this 1958, you probably can see some further sells back down, you know, probably at least to fill this wick here and to potentially continue down. But for buys, it's a little bit messy. I think buys will be better above 1969, but be careful with news today. Above here is an option, but see the 15, yeah, above here can be an option, but I rather see this reject now and then close above, and then you can potentially take buys to here or here. I think that would be the option. So yeah, that's my analysis. Hope you guys liked it and agree. And yeah, that's basically what I'm looking for at the moment. And yeah, let's have a look. Why, if the daily candle doesn't cause a top wick, can it flip up? All right, that's a pretty good question. We covered kind of that question yesterday when we were watching the 1-hour time frame, and it's no different with the daily time frame. If you take a look here, and I remove all drawings, and let's just go and look in the last previous 10 candles, right? So 10 days, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? So from here to here, every single one of these daily candles has a top and bottom wick in the last 10 candles. If you go back even further, the last 20 candles, you'll notice that, oh, most of them have a top and bottom wick. So if most of the candles have a top and bottom wick, we can assume that, okay, probably we'll see the current daily make a top wick at some point, right? It can be expected. It doesn't have to happen, but same as yesterday, it's a probability if you're taking sells that you have to be careful that the daily could flip anytime and make a top wick, right? We just have to check if that's, yeah, that's the same amongst most brokers. Do you consider wick as an LTA? No, I don't consider wick as an LTA, especially on the 15 and 30-minute time frames. Those are not LTAs. Wicks are just rejection areas. They don't really, when we're using candle bodies for confirmation, wicks are not too important. Like for example here, you're not gonna look for a close above this resistance here, right? Because the wicks are all rejecting this resistance up here, right? This is the zone you're looking at. This is where we're getting rejection from, in this zone. So you're not going to look to be above this zone, you know? That's the difference. P Web, please explain your question of will change my trading to twice a month. Please explain that question. Can I do analysis on GU? Yeah, we can have a look at GU. No problems. GU daily close bearish here, but still above the support zone here. 4-hour time frame is closing bullish here. What are we doing? Yeah, so we're at this resistance zone. This zone right here behind this level here is super tough. You can see all the rejections we're getting from. We break above, we close back below, we try to create support above it. So trading in here is very, very difficult zone to trade in on GU, right? For buys, that is. But I think even when we start to get above it, it's very, very choppy here. I don't like the way GU is looking. It's very, very choppy. It's too choppy for me. I think we just need to have a resolution to the upside or to the downside here. If you really want to push it, you can potentially try to buy. Yeah, it's very tough here. Potentially above here, but I don't like these wicks, right? If you create some sort of support above here like this, you can potentially look to buy, but that's the only thing I'm looking at GU at the moment. US 30. Why not? So daily time frames closing nicely bullish here. Seems like we want to continue up. Don't worry about my box here. This box is a very, very high time frame box, right? Weekly also closed bullish here. Just this wick might be a problem here. This is a rejection from my box essentially, but yeah, 4-hour time frame on the other hand, your target's this wick and then this resistance. Why the wick before you ask? The wick is the target first because this is the most recent spot we saw price reject, so it's something we have to care about. I'm bullish on US 30, but I want to see price pull back in order to take buys. I think taking breakout buys is very tough. Every time it breaks out, you get some sort of pullback. Breakout, some sort of pullback. If this was New York Open, yeah, you could probably give it a try to here. But if you can do a pullback and create support, that would give you good opportunity for upside. But yeah, I don't think sells are in the cards just yet. If a wick causes a support and resistance, is that considered a break of structure? No, it's not considered a break of structure. Because, for example, now I'm on the 15-minute time frame. In order for me to break this structural low here, I need price to close below that. Just breaking the wick doesn't mean anything. That's just it doesn't mean anything. It just means that price wick down, tested that area, and we'll see the resolution. We'll see what price wants to do. Does price reject that area? If it rejects, it's going to leave a wick. If it doesn't reject and closes below, we're going to get the candle body closing below, and that's going to tell us, okay, now we've broken structure. The wick doesn't mean anything because a wick can also mean a rejection, which is also going to be my video this week, so be sure to keep an eye on that later this week, of course. I release it on Sundays, so be sure to check on Sundays. I'm actually going to post a video, rejection wicks versus wick fills. How do you know which one is which? And how to analyze those. I think that's a very under discussed topic in the markets, and yeah, I'm going to discuss some more about it, so keep an eye out for that. Yes, indeed. If you want us to have a look at Bitcoin, you can have a look at Bitcoin if you want. Let me know. Everyone, can we have more likes? Let's show our support. Yeah, if you're enjoying the stream, appreciate all the likes. How many likes we have? 9 likes. I think we can get that up at least to 15 or something. Yes. Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin doing? Taking out the highs, taking out the lows. Classic move after a range. Everyone gets excited after a range. Takes out the highs, takes out the lows. And then continues in the direction once it continues. So let's have a look. Weekly time frame is now broken the highs and broken the lows. Very interesting here. Daily time frame on the other hand. Okay, we need a close above. If we close above here, I do think we push up to 29,644 if we do get the close above. How about 4 hour? What 4 hours telling me? Yeah, 4 hours at resistance. Yeah, this is the problem with people trading lower time frames. They concentrate too much on lower time frames, but nothing on the higher time frame tells us we have a breakout. So I think we need to close a nice closure above this 28 before we see some continual upside. If not for now, just draw a line here like this, right? And you see how this rejection wick is here. So if anything closing above this, yeah, this type of zone, you maybe have some more potential to test maybe up to here 28, 29. 29 flat, and then it might range. So that's what I'm looking on Bitcoin. I was late. Have you done Gbpjpy? Yeah, we've done Gbpjpy on GJ. Where even though the 4 hours are closing bearish, I'm still more bullish biased, because if you're gonna sell, you're gonna sell below here. But for me, that doesn't make any sense. You're selling into all this support, and at any time you can get rejection, which that rejection will allow me to continue these buys here, right? So that's what we were saying on GJ. But this range is a little bit of a tough range, so we're waiting for more information on the charts in order to see how we can trade inside of this range potentially, or trade up to the top of the range. Trading at this 4 hour resistance, we analyzed that it's not a good idea to trade at this 4 hour resistance. And yeah, that's not a good idea. So we're just waiting. What's your take on ICT? Oh, very interesting question. I haven't looked much into ICT. I do know he's a very popular smart money concepts guy. For me, personally, I never found any success in smart money concepts. I think it overcomplicates it. And when it comes to trading the markets, and I'm going to tell you this, guys, in the most unbiased way. When it comes to trading the markets, you have probabilities and statistics. The more variables you add to your trading, the more complicated and the more you can skew those probability and statistics. So long term, it's very hard to analyze if you're going to be profitable or not if there's a lot of different conditions. Now, although I do see some smart money concept traders, they do work, at the end of the day, where does smart money concept come from? It comes from price action, because only difference it is it's showing something that happens on the chart often and repetitive thing that happens. So like price tapping an order block, price rejecting an order block, it shows all of that stuff happen, okay, repetitively, but they put a story behind it. So essentially they said an order block is blah 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 because the banks blah 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 blah, liquidity blah blah blah. But essentially all you're doing is looking at something that happens often at the chart and putting a story behind it. And price action works the same way. I see a closure of a candle, I see, you know, clean candles towards the left, and that allows me to trade my price action method, right? So essentially it's all the same thing, but sometimes it can make it a bit complicated if you're adding too many variables, because too many concepts will make it very, very difficult. And at the same time, when you don't have enough I don't know how to put this into a word, but when you can't adapt to the market so often because you're looking for such a specific, it becomes very, very tough, right? Because you're trying to look for a specific setup, and it becomes very, very tough to look for that setup because you have to follow very strict rules. Swiss franc JPY, I don't even have that on my chart, but you didn't even say please or thank you or can you please look at Swiss franc JPY. So I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, it's like I'm not feeling good, man. Just spamming Swiss JPY in the chat is not really the best way to ask. Thank you for Gbpjpy. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, but you asked a question. I was late. Have you done Gbpjpy? So I answered your question. This guy comes in the chat and just type the pair. Swiss franc JPY. Alright, Swiss franc JPY. It is. Thank you very much. And what do you want me to do with that? Maybe instead of writing the plan, I'll write the plan at the end of the stream. Because the problem is yesterday when I wrote the plan, everyone left. When I wrote the plan yesterday, everyone left. Thank you, bro. A bit of insightful perspective on simplifying and streamlining your strategy to optimum efficiency. That's exactly it. You just want to... Because if I'm doing this long term, I want to have variables that I can test long term. But if there's so many different things, I don't know where I'm going wrong because there's so many things to test when it goes wrong. But when your entry strategy just depends on a few things like clean candles, a closure, a certain formation that may happen, certain to have your bias, is your bias looking for buys, for sells. Whenever your basically strategy involves such a simple thing, it's very easy to find where you go wrong, and yeah, it really helps. Big fan. I've been watching you since you had 100 something subscribers. Man, appreciate you. Really appreciate your efforts. Keep it up. Oops, I thought the stream starts on the hour. Missed the half an hour. No, it starts at 9:30. The times have shifted, so now we've gone back basically 30 minutes. Hi Harry, daily candle without upper wick plus bullish trend. Is that a good confluence to buy? It gives us more of a bias that we could potentially see a top wick on the daily, but we need to see the charts on the lower time frame form something that allow us to take a buy, right? We can't just randomly buy because of that, but it helps. Will you take a live trade? Yes, I do take live trades if they come. I'm not just going to take a random trade and then we all lose. If you check, when did we get a trade? I think Monday stream, we got a nice trade on Monday stream. I think last week, Thursday, Tuesday. Yeah, there's a few days when we get a trade on stream. And yeah. ABC Ken is asking for a quick sum up. Yeah, thoughts on GJ here are basically that daily candle is looking bullish. 4-hour candles, although closing bearish, very tough to sell in this zone. I don't want to sell below here, so I'm potentially looking for GJ to potentially pull back, create some sort of supports in order to take price towards the upside here, right? How many years have I been trading? 3 years. More than 3 years, but seriously. Okay, I'm gonna write this plan because it will help people, but hopefully people don't leave the stream when I write the plan. I'm gonna write it in a way that doesn't explain everything, right? So that people will bias. We'll start doing this. Bias is bias, so we'll start off with the bias, and then we'll do potential pullbacks to take price up, not buying at 4R. Yeah, that's a nice simple plan here, right? Not bot. We're not a bot. I can show you my levels. That's the daily. Don't worry too much about the daily. It's pretty messy. Just focus on the big daily resistance here. When we have all of these wicks, it's a little bit messy. So focus on the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour time frame is super clear here, right? And the 4-hour time frame, we have this resistance right here. So you have to mark that. I marked up a 1-hour resistance up here, right? Around this is like a heavy rejection zone, and that's pretty much that. Pardon, I was just following. It's all good, brother. If you want to ask for me to look at a pair, you know, just ask in a better way. What's the indicators I use? I don't have any indicators on the chart. I don't use indicators. At what time do you realize that the profit starts coming based on your trading journey? I would say it depends on your own journey. It's very independent. How lost you get. If you keep changing strategy, trying this strategy, trying that strategy, I think the profits are going to take a long time before you get it. But if you find and stick to one strategy that you know that works, that is proven, right? Because the strategy that I use is proven, it's tested, right? And I show that, and that's why I can trust it. But if you stick and try to get good at that certain strategy, then what happens is you become profitable a lot quicker, and you start to realize your profits as you start to work through these little bit of hiccups. I've seen traders who've just stuck to basically focusing on one strategy start to see profits roll in within 3 to 4 months, right? But if you keep changing strategy, trying this, trying that, it's gonna take years, right? I like this question. When backtesting a strategy, how large of a sample size trades do you prefer? I think enough is 50 trades is enough. 100 is like perfect, you know? 100 is okay, but 50 is enough, you know? But you know, the most powerful form of backtesting, I'll tell you this, guys, and many people don't speak about this. The most powerful form of backtesting is actually going to be to live trade as well, right? So you need to backtest to make sure that your strategy actually works and what you do, and to practice, right? Because it takes too long to live trade. But with the emotions of trading and all of that, trading live is actually going to give you the best data, right? Bro, who was your mentor before? Excuse me, I never had one single mentor who taught me that I did one-on-ones or took their course, but I've definitely learned from multiple people. And yeah, I'm not gonna sit here like all of the other guys on the internet. A lot of the other guys, yeah, I'm self-taught. I taught myself to trade. This is all me. It's like, come on, man. It's not like you guys go to the gym and you know, you're the one who invented the bench press. But no one complains about someone teaching you about a bench press. Everyone just can do the bench press, but no one says, oh yeah, I learned the bench press from this guy, he's better. I learned from that guy, he's better. No, it's just a bench press, you know? We all do the same thing. You're going to learn it from someone, and that's how it works. So don't get heated up about it, right? Accidentally yeah, look, you pressed the, we were up to 60 views, you pressed the dislike, now it went down. Very upset. No, I'm joking, bro. When gold goes upside, GBP goes down. Why? Yeah, that happens sometimes. Sometimes they're inversely correlated and sometimes they're not. It's mostly due to you know, yen, to be honest. It's mostly due to the yen and the yen influence, right? Because safe haven currency is the yen. Gold is also a safe haven. So when the yen gets stronger, right, or the yen gets weaker and we can see money move into gold, it's actually very tough to exactly pinpoint what it is, right? Yeah, that's also 50 sample. Well, you're only going to be taking like a trade per day. So you just take one trade per day on your backtesting, and that should cover multiple months. But I would recommend testing your strategy across every single month. And that's another thing. And that brings up a good point. I appreciate you bringing that up. But it's super important to make sure, like, people come out, you see online on YouTube, new strategy, this is my strategy. And it's like, bro, you haven't even tested your strategy over a year. How do you know it's going to work in every single month of that year? Your strategy has to work every single month of the year, because moves are different every single month of the year. If you notice, when the streams first started in the beginning, some of the moves were really slow. London session, sometimes we had to wait ages until we got a move. Now we start to see some more volume earlier, get more moves earlier. So yeah. I've been consistent this month, not over trading. 13 wins, 2 losses. The problem is I can't cut losses short and let runners win to TP. Losses are much bigger than winners. Well, that's not really a problem if you're winning most of the time, right? And I think people concentrate too much on how to cut losses short. If you were to cut losses short, then you're mostly going to take losses, because you're bottling the trade and you're condensing your trade. You're making it harder to trade. So in reality, I wouldn't be worried about your losses being a bit bigger than your wins, as long as you're winning more than you're losing, right? So it's either one or the other. It's either, if you lose a fair amount, your wins have to be bigger than your losses. But if you don't lose as often, you're okay to take the bigger losses when they do happen, because you're winning most of the time. But one thing I will say, right? One thing I will say is that you have to focus on targeting the relevant structure, right? Target always a relevant structure, and also focus on trying to, if you're going to secure profits at roughly around a 1-to-1. That will keep your something better. Did I have any other business? Well, yes, I did have another business. I actually had a lighting business. We used to install neon lights for companies. So yes, I did. And also I was a crypto investor. That's how I started, and that's where most of my income came from, was from crypto, right? I invested early in crypto, and then I traded crypto a little bit, and then started to get dividends from crypto and investing in different things, and then diversified that income, and then I get return on that income, right? How long did it take me to become profitable? Personally, for me, it took me 1.5 years. Do I trade oil? No, I don't trade oil, because I mostly trade London session, and I don't think that oil is the best in London session. Longs in Gbpjpy. Well, yeah, bias is buys, but there's nothing I can see for longs yet. Again, similar. If you guys have been joining the stream since Monday, what's the trend we've seen since Monday with the 1 hour candle? Every single day since Monday, this 1 hour candle is open with no bottom wick. It's telling me that there's some buyer in the market here. There's some guy in the market every single day. And you let me know in the chat if you guys remember this. But every single day, there's some buyer in the market. When the 10 a.m. my time candle opens, they buy price up. Big order as well. Every day consistent. There's a buy placed at that time, and we're seeing that since the beginning of the week. What's the plan in gold? I'll look at it. What's the best way to backtest? Best way to backtest, you can check my backtesting videos on YouTube. I use a software called Soft4FX, and you have to log it on an Excel sheet. So you have an Excel sheet like this, and I actually have this for free in my Discord. So if you want to join my Discord, in the description below, you can actually get this sheet and you can fill it yourself. Right, so that's the best way to backtest, and that'll tell you all the information, your profitability, your best setups, blah 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 blah. Euro USD, we can have a look at that in a minute. How do you move from BE stages? Actually, BE stage is not a bad place to be at. Mostly BE stages means that you're sometimes taking too many trades in the day, so you actually have a profitable day, but then you take a loss, and then it causes you to have a negative day. Another reason that you can be in the BE stage is that you're trying to force too many options, or you're trying to chase. But I wouldn't say BE stage is a bad place to be in. I think the best thing for you to get out of the BE stage is understand why are you in the, is it what's causing it? Is it the second trade in the day that's causing you loss? Or is it just because you take a win, then take a loss, then take a win, then take a loss? Look at those losses and look at the wins and check the difference between the wins and the losses. And you'll find the difference between, maybe your losses were taken because you were trying to enter on the 5-minute time frame, but your wins were all the ones where you entered on the higher time frames, right? And that's how you're going to get out of that BE stage, right? That's really going to get you out that BE stage, and quick. Yeah, you can export on Soft4FX, but it doesn't collect the information like this. This is the best way to collect information, like this, right? This is the best way to do it. Please see gold. Yeah, I can see gold. Because if you use something like this, right? And I have this in my Discord, you can collect all the information you want to collect. Let's have a look at gold. Everyone is shouting at gold. Yeah, gold is breaking up here. We haven't closed above this zone. I was saying if we closed above this 4-hour resistance, you had an option. But there's been no closure here. So, you have to wait. You have to be patient. Good buys in gold came in Asian session. That was the best buys. Asian session was the best. So you have to be patient on gold. Euro USD, someone wanted to look at Euro USD. You can quickly look at that. Weekly, bullish. Daily. Yeah, dailies at this resistance makes it very, very tough at the moment here. Yeah, 4 hours a complete mess. I won't touch Euro USD at the moment until we either break above, maybe above 1.084. Then you can potentially look for buys towards the upside here above 1.084. That would probably be better. But it's at this daily resistance makes it really tough at daily resistance. All good. Good afternoon, brother. Can you please show me how to identify Asian high and Asian low before London Open? Yeah, Asian high, Asian low, you identify it on the 30-minute time frame here. And you basically look at before the 4-hour candle. So in the Asian 4-hour candle, so before this 4-hour candle that opens at... so you're looking at this previous 4-hour candle, right? Basically the 4-hour candle that closed at 9 o'clock my time. You're looking where was the most recent resistance and support in that 4-hour candle. So for me, any time before 9 o'clock to buy time, I look for where the most recent resistance and support. So essentially my Asian high and low technically would be this and this, but you could just call it this range. It's just on the 30-minute. How many pairs do you trade? Is it better just to concentrate? Yeah, I trade only 2 pairs and I swing another pair, and my main pair is just concentrating on GJ. Once you start risking adequate amount, you just need to take one trade on one pair and you'll be okay. So yeah, guys, if you're new to the channel, appreciate you showing up to the stream. Pleasure to have you. If you enjoy the stream, can leave a like, and what's more important is that you guys, if you want to view future streams, you have to subscribe and turn on that bell, because that bell will notify you when my stream goes live. I don't spam videos, so you're not going to get me spamming you guys with videos, but the only reason I'm pushing that is because I've noticed that a lot of people actually don't know about my stream. A lot of my subscribers, like I had a few people who come into the group are like, oh, I realized you started streaming. When did you start streaming? I'm like, I've been streaming for 2 months now, they're like, oh, we never got a notification. Yeah, that's because they don't have their bell turned on. So yeah, if you're enjoying it, definitely advise you to do that, and I would appreciate it. I used to work for a company that replaced ballast for high efficiency T5 lamps. Good money. Yes, light is needed, so it's not bad. Mine was more like a novelty, not novelty, but more of a decoration type lighting, more than an essential lighting. That was the difference of my company. What's your view on gold? Well, gold's pushing up at the moment here. Pretty hard to find an entry when we just have a candle pushing straight here. This resistance is going to be target. What I did really want to see on gold is I wanted to see price reject here and then close above. But with this closure here, you're only able to target here. So at this point here, you have to wait for a pullback to continue bullish. I mean, buying here is very high. You're running a stop loss of 39 pips. It's not really worth it, right? For such a small target. What's my preferred R to R setup? Do you stack your entries? I don't stack my entries. My preferred R to R is not really relevant because I just target what the market gives me. If I'm, for example, taking a buy, let's take a very easy example here. Let's say I'm taking a buy from the bottom of the range here. My target is going to be the top of the range. That's my target, somewhere in this resistance, right? Because I have a clean zone here to trade. And if I'm taking buys from here or above here, I'm targeting the top of the resistance. Or if I see a quick push and I don't want to hold drawdown and I don't want to hold the trade, I'll just target a average profit target that I make that's more than my stop loss and just close at that, right? Because, you know, sometimes you have like, let's say, you know, you had $1,000 on the table and you're just happy with that, you can close that. There's no reason to hold that, right? How much time did I spend to become a profitable trader? A long time. But if you're asking how long did it take me to become profitable, I would say it probably took me 1.5 years to become profitable. But I don't see that, but that's because I made a mistake and I used so many different strategies. But that's why I'm here, to try to make sure you guys don't have the same mistake. Because I made that mistake and it delayed me. I wish I could find something like this and someone who was just giving good information when I started would have been a lot easier, and I think I would have got a lot further, because a big issue was trying to untrain my mind to focus on things I learned in the past and also bringing back confidence, right? Any advice on people working 9 to 5? Yeah, I mean, if you're working a 9 to 5, the best thing to do is to, you know, you don't always have to take a trade every single day. If you work a desk job, that's useful because you can look at the charts while at your job. If it's an active job, it's a little bit difficult, but that doesn't mean you can't take trades on higher time frames, like a 4-hour time frame. So let's go have a look yesterday, what options you could have had to take a trade for this week on the 4-hour time frame. Well, check this out. It works all the same. Here we have a resistance here. Price closed above the resistance. Your target is here. So if we look at this on another pair, so you have a resistance level here. Here's a 4-hour, right? Well, let me remove all these drawings. So let's say your resistance was up here on this time frame. You're waiting for any close above, like we're waiting for 30-minute. Your target is this level here, and you just take a trade on a 4-hour. Yeah, this takes 2 days to play out, but you work a 9 to 5. So you would just take this, you put stop loss below here, and you target up to here, you know, and you'd get basically a 1-to-1. Yeah, you won't get as many trades as we get trading during the day, but the difference is that it still fits within your lifestyle, right? And still allows you to be able to take these trades. Otherwise, you won't be able to trade. So you can always jump up a higher time frame, or if you work a desk job, then you can just look at the charts while at work. Why mostly people trade gold, GJ, and gold? Personally, for me, the reason I trade GJ is I trade a London session, and in London session, I used to trade Euro USD and Gbpjpy USD. Gbpjpy USD, I didn't like how it was so heavily influenced by the dollar. and the dollar and the pound can sometimes be strong together, and it's a little bit difficult, sometimes, but it is a good pair. Euro USD I just really didn't like, is a bit slow for me. Gold is good for New York, so I think gold is a good pair to trade. It's a popular one. And then the reason I chose GJ is because if you look at the yen, and the yen is very volatile because of the way they run their economy, and GBP is like a solid basically solid currency, so you get good volatility in this pair. Also, it's very popular. Gold is now reacting from the 15-minute order block. Yeah, I don't trade using order blocks, so it's not going to be a trade for me. But yeah, it's reacting from this resistance here. For me, this is just a resistance, not an order block. Yeah, this is a resistance. So we'll see what happens. As I said, buying those highs is not a good idea, right? Buying the highs was not a good idea. Why don't I trade indices? Well, because I'm trading mostly London session. London session is my trading slot during the day. That's why I'm streaming now. And indices tend to move the best during New York. So if I was trading in New York, I would probably include some form of indice in my trading. I'd probably trade gold or something, right? Gold, or maybe US 30 or something. Let's take a second to give much love. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, then, and you want to watch future streams, just be sure to be subscribed so you know when we go live. I'd appreciate to have you guys here. And, yeah, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy answering your questions and enjoy seeing people get better, right? I missed this question up here. Someone asked for my long-term review on gold. My long-term review on gold, that'll take some time for me to analyze that fully. But I think it's very tough with all of the news that's been going on and about the banks collapsing. So this thing can easily start to calm down from here, and we can see this start to try to reverse some of this move. Or if things get crazy in the economy again, we can start pushing up heavy. It's just so hard to predict news. So we kind of have to trade what we see, not what we think makes sense, right? So we trade basically on daily candles, day by day. Every single daily candle, we can make an analysis based on the information that gave us. I think it's okay to sell now. Sell what now? Sell what? Is it true that AUD USD respects structure? Many articles say Aussie it's a slow pair because it trades during the it's an Aussie pair, so it trades when Aussie banks and New Zealand banks open, Oceania time I think they call it. So it trades in that very small slot, and it's a very slow pair. You don't get big moves, and if you measure the ranges on AUD USD, they're very small ranges, right? Like you can see here that from here to here was only 9 pips, right? This move on GJ would be like 60 pips. Like this whole move is only 20 pips. So you can give yourself huge stop losses and still be okay. Like look, to run below the whole range here on a 15-minute is only 26 pips. But if we did the same thing on GJ to run below the whole range, you'll notice from here to here, that's like 70 pips already, right? 70 pips, 57 pips. So you can see the major difference between that. So in GJ, it's a lot more volatile and it's a lot more tougher with stops, and you have to be more aggressive and understand not to ruin your trades by being aggressive. So it becomes complicated. Is it fine trading GU and GJ from pre-NY till London, since it has a decent amount of volume? Yeah, pre-NY it's good. GU pre-NY is very good. So I think, yeah, you can do that. GJ in London will be better than NY, but you can definitely find moves on GJ in New York as well. How many trades do I take per day? I would say just normally 1 trade per day. I'm pretty happy with that. If I mean, depends what if the market's moving heavy, I can take 2 trades, but normally if I get a good entry in that day, I can hold the trade, you know? Let's say I take a trade, I close it, but the market's moving super heavy, I might add another entry to try continue that move. But if I expect the market to move heavy, I might leave one more trade running or something. So I'm basically in the trade for the whole day. So even though it is one trade, but it's one trade I close and one trade that's left a little bit longer. Just give me a sec. Just gonna go to the toilet. I'll be back. Right, BRB on the screen. Don't go anywhere. Intermission. What's my opinion on algorithm trading? Algorithm trading, yes. I do have an opinion on that. If it's trusted specific setup, do you think it's a good thing? Well, there's no way you can have a trusted specific setup because algorithms are not based on that. Algorithms are based on mostly moving averages, MACD, stuff like that. So I don't think it's really the best thing because there can be a lot of variance. I fail to see an algorithm work consistently over a long period of time, and most algorithms work on taking very small profits often. Algorithms do work, but only at the higher levels. Only if you're spending $500,000 to $1,000,000 to make a really good one, and to have a system that can run a really good one, to have databases, to have your own brokerage in order to counteract for that. Yeah, it gets complicated. As a profitable scalper, don't you want volatility in the market? Yeah, I do want volatility. That's why I trade GJ, right? I was showing you the AU versus the GJ. You can see the difference in volatility. Hey man, Eddie, I would recommend doing this. If you go to my YouTube channel, if it loads now, come on, not that. And we go to the YouTube here, and very slow, come on. And you also go watch my new video, day in the life video, go watch that. But if you scroll down, there's 2023 Forex course. And actually in playlists, if you go to playlists here, you'll see in the playlist, there's actually this one, learn to trade correctly, beginner to winner. Watch all of those videos in there. That'll help you a lot. It's basically a course, free course. All good, Eddie, all good. Yeah, a bit of a crab market today. That means we have to bring out the crabs. Bring out the crabs. Let's go. Crab market today demands a crab. And here we go, crab market. Yes, sir. Crab market. Let's get some crabs in the chat. Let's see some crabs. Crabs for the crab market. Is it good to have a mentor in your trading journey? If so, tell us if you have one. I don't personally have a direct mentor. I think it's good to have. I don't like the word mentor. I don't like the word mentor. I think people grow away from mentors. I think it's good to have people to guide you, but you have to put in the work. You need to have proper people to guide you, but you have to put in the work, right? So take advice from people who you know that whatever they're preaching works. Don't fall for the hype, and just make sure that they guide you, and then you put in the work and improve yourself, right? Yep, crab equals consolidation, right? Because crabs go sideways, so it's like sideways market. So we call it the crab. We call it the crab market. Yeah, crabs in the chat. Yeah, crab moves sideways. That's why. That's exactly it. Appreciate you, man. Catch you soon. Catch you soon. Crabs in the chat. Yeah, since it's a crab market, I don't think there's much to talk about. So my plan today, I'm not buying at the highs here. That's a no-go. But if we push up here, create some sort of support, and then London Open gives us a chance to push up, maybe I take that option. Anyways, I'll be updating in the group. I'll update in the group as always. Be sure, if you want to join a place that's safe, that's not full of BS, definitely join the Discord and Telegram. They're both the same. I prefer Discord. And yeah, we just have to be a bit patient today. Not every day we're going to get nice moves. But yeah, let's see how this ends up setting up. And I'm probably going to wrap up the stream here. So that's the plan. We want to see this push up now. We want to see this push up create a target for us to trade to, right? So I'll update if that happens. But for now, we're just seeing rejections. Nothing much happening at the moment. But as always, guys, I appreciate you showing up to the stream. Hope to catch you on the next one. And yeah, if you're new here, be sure to leave a subscribe and with the bell on so you know when we go live. And for sure, you know, I'll keep you guys updated. And thank you all for joining. Hope you learned something. Hope you found it useful. That being said, take care, trade sharp, and hopefully send the trade in the group. I'll have a look at it. I was just finishing my outro. But yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, guys. Peace. And I'm still here, by the way. And bye.